And as old Teddy Roosevelt would say, bully. The lever action rifle is rich in American history, all the way from the end of the Civil War through the Indian Wars, and really was one of the guns that tamed the West. Also, it's been used as a hunting rifle, one of the most popular hunting rifle actions out there in the .30-30 caliber. And so we're going to take a look today at the Henry 22. This is their carbine, and it's a lever action with a large loop. We're just going to do some shooting with it. These are just excellent rifles. Henry has really stepped it up and brought lever actions kind of back into the forefront. I really like the nostalgia of the lever action. Kind of slows things down a bit. You have a lot of fun. This is a great rifle for hunting and plinking. Guys, I know this isn't a cowboy hat, but I'm from South Carolina, so I'm not a cowboy. The Henry 22 lever action carbine, really handy, really lightweight. It's only 4.5 pounds, so in the field it's going to be really easy to carry. The overall length is only 34 inches, and I really like that carbine size for a 22, especially one that I have around the house, you know, for pests, things like that, or just for target practicing. I mean, it's really handy, really easy to bring up, and especially for young shooters, it doesn't wear them out when they're holding the rifle up. And that's one of the things you'll notice with guys that have not shot a lot. They get tired holding up the rifle. It's a 16 and an 1/8 inch barrel. So very handy, very easy. They don't all come with the large lever, but I do prefer it over just the standard, especially for a field rifle, one that I'm going to really need to get right second and third shots really easy. Also, of course, with gloves, being able to use gloves, especially in cold weather, and if you have large hands, it makes it really nice. But the small lever is really what you see traditionally, and of course the Old West, a lot of guys like that larger lever. Very smooth action, which is typical for Henry. The receiver has a baked on finish, not a blued finish, and I believe this is an alloy. Of course, for 22, you know, it doesn't need quite the strength that a full-size centerfire rifle needs. But the barrel is blued and done very well. Very nice barrel bands here on the fore end and here at the front sight. The American walnut is just beautiful. I mean, and that's one of the things Henry prides itself in, using American walnut and American products, and I believe they have 3 different locations where they get this from, but it always has a really nice grain to it, and the finish is really well done. I mean, it has more of a satin finish than a gloss, which I like. Underneath the lever we have the tang here, and of course at the top we have a tang as well. Gives it a lot of strength to that stock. One thing I noticed was the hammer is pretty wide, and it is spurred, so it's got some serrations that go across it. So very easy to grab hold of, and to get things started, of course, usually you can just cock the lever and it'll bring the hammer into the rear position. We're going to check the trigger pull, make sure the gun isn't loaded, and it is. So the trigger pull, very little take up, and then a nice crisp snap. I mean, you barely touch it, you hit the shelf, and it's very nice. We're going to check the trigger pull weight. 3 pounds 12 ounces. 3 pounds 14 ounces. 3 pounds 14 ounces. An excellent trigger weight. Now, all of Henry rifles are tube fed, but 22 has always been traditionally tube fed. And what's really nice is this brass rod. I mean, it's just really beautiful. Brass is not used that often. It's a little more expensive. but I think it's really worth it. Plus it makes this a very smooth entrance and insert, and then just close it down. It locks right here. It's knurled, so it's easy to grab hold of and to close up. The buttstock is plastic, has texturing right here, and it does have the Henry logo. Very well fitted to the stock. The front sight is a post with a hood, protects your front sight. The rear sight is a buckhorn setup, and this is adjustable for elevation. Also back here is a rail for your small rimfire scope mounts. There's no external safety on here. There is a transfer block right here for a firing pin block in case you drop it on the hammer, which in the field can happen. Here at 25 yards, shooting pretty much just about an inch high. Here again, I was aiming for the center. First group had one little flyer, but pretty much a good little group. Then here, a good solid group. And this is with these buckhorn sights, which, you know, they're very accurate if you know how to shoot with them. But putting a little scope on here would really tighten things up. I'm using CCI mini mags, and I want to thank Federal Premium. Also, easy to see targets. At the range, smooth feeding, no malfunctions, which is pretty typical of a lever action rifle. Being able just to get those rounds, it's a pretty positive feeding. One of the things I really like about lever action, it's kind of old school, but yet it's really fast. You have 12 rounds in here. You can pump those out really a lot quicker than you can a bolt action. Now, of course, semi-automatic is very fast, no doubt. One of the things I think is an advantage of lever action over semi-automatic is when you're taking young people out or inexperienced shooters, it just kind of slows things down a bit. And you know, you have to actually work the action to fire your next round. And I found that that really helps. Even with beginner shooters, you give them a semi-automatic rifle and they seem to want to just empty the magazine. They may start out slow for the first few rounds, but it always ends up, you know, to be a mag dump before it's over with. And that's not really teaching someone the proper way to shoot. And being able to get the sight alignment, being able to get trigger control, and taking something like this to me is a great beginner rifle. And then again, great for hunting, going out for a day in the woods, you know, for pest control. Put some snake shot in here. And it does take 22 long shorts and 22 long rifle. The capacity for the 22 is 12 rounds. For your 22 shorts, it's 17 rounds. Of course, if you can find 22 short. But that gives you a lot of capability for a small little rifle. There are a lot of different 22 models. This just happens to be the carbine. They do make a rifle. They make a lot of different barrel lengths, different stock styles, of course, different levers. If you have a standard lever and you want to switch to the large lever, those are available on Henry website. So it's just a lot of things that Henry offers, I think, that really makes it top-notch. You know, Anthony Imperato bought Henry a few years ago and really turned the company around, and honestly I feel like that he brought lever actions back into the shooting world. I mean, they've always been there, but it kind of got back to really nice lever action rifles are being bought. And of course, Marlin and Winchester have also put out a lot of nice firearms. But one of the great things about Henry is these are all made in America. They're made to really top specs, and this is a traditional American rifle. So the American rifleman would be proud. Check the buckle. Oh yeah. I went to the Henry website and the retail price is $375. But the good news is these are running about $280 in stores. Winchester Marlin, I know years ago I was really wanting a 22, but they were more expensive than the 30-30s, and running about $400 to $450. I haven't priced them lately, and I'm sure that I'll hear about it in the comments below. But these are really good quality rifles, and to me, superior than about anything that's being made that's a lever action rifle in America today. And guys, just so you know, these are the EXO ironclad tactical gloves. Fantastic gloves. I've got some different pair. Highly recommend these guys. We'll talk a little bit about the pros and cons. It's a very high quality rifle, very smooth action. The finish and the fit are excellent. Price is right. I mean, 280 bucks, even $300. Great price for this little rifle. The cons, you know, for a great little rifle to take out into the woods, I don't see any cons. You know, you can put a scope on here. It's tube fed, which is traditional 422 long rifle. A little slower than the semi-automatic, but that's getting into a whole nother ball game. So really, I can't find any cons for this rifle. I just think that Henry's doing a good job. And if you really want to see what this rifle will do, check out 22 Plinkster. He is a whiz at Henry lever action rifles, or anything else for that matter. You know, Mr. Douglas, I think this would make a great gun for Green Acres. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Large levers are featured. Now they don't all come with the large lever. I do like it. They don't all come with the large lever, but I do prefer the large. One of the things I really like, especially teaching youngsters how to shoot, you know, it's tube fed, which is traditional. If you want it's tube fed, which is what the freaking heck? No, not the Star Wars Republic. You know, they were $400, $450. You know, on the street. So, of course, if you could find them on the street, that'd be great. I'd pick up as many as possible. But